If you have a cat, I am almost certain you've asked yourself this exact question. One minute, they're purring on your chest, the absolute picture of affection, and the next, they're staring at you from across the room with this, completely unreadable expression. So, what's the real story? Let's dive into the actual science behind feline affection and see what it has to say about our furry, mysterious friends. So, are they really these aloof, independent creatures that just put up with us for the free food and shelter? That's the classic stereotype, right? But is that fair? Or have we just been totally misreading their signals this whole time? That's the big question we're going to try and answer. Part of the reason we're all so confused is that scientists are too. At the very heart of this is a major scientific debate. We've got two different research teams who looked at the very same question and came to, well, completely opposite conclusions. And here is the main event. On one side, you have researchers from Oregon State University. Their conclusion? Yes, absolutely. Cats form secure attachments to us, just like dogs and even human babies do. But then, on the other side, you have a team from the University of Lincoln, and they argue that while the bond is definitely there, it doesn't quite fit the very strict scientific definition of a secure attachment. So, who's right? So to figure this out, both teams used a version of this classic psychology experiment. Basically, you put a cat and its owner in a new room to create just a little bit of stress. Then you see how the cat reacts when its owner leaves, and most importantly, how it acts when the owner comes back. This test is actually the gold standard for measuring attachment in kids and dogs, so it makes sense they'd try it with cats. The team at Oregon State felt their results were crystal clear. They found that most of the cats were way less stressed out and much more willing to explore this new room as long as their owner was there, and when the owner came back. The cats would greet them and then quickly settle down. That is a textbook sign of secure attachment. But the Lincoln team looked at that same kind of behavior and saw something a little different. They suggested, hey, maybe all that meowing and pacing isn't about missing a source of safety. Maybe it's just frustration about being left alone. They argued that cats definitely form close social bonds, for sure, but they don't necessarily see us as their personal bodyguard against the big scary world. And this is the key to the whole argument. It's not really about love, it's about language. Secure attachment is a very specific, technical term from psychology. Both sides agree that cats form deep, affectionate bonds with us. The entire debate is just about whether that bond functions as a secure base in the exact same way it does for a toddler or a puppy. Okay, so if watching their behavior can lead to different interpretations, what if we look even deeper? What if we could look past the purrs and meows and right into the chemistry, the actual hormones that are driving this connection? Let me introduce you to oxytocin. You've probably heard it called love hormone or the bonding hormone. It's this powerful little neurochemical that basically acts like social glue for mammals. That includes us. It floods our system when we feel trust and connection, like when we hug someone. It's the literal chemistry behind that warm, fuzzy feeling. And here is the coolest part. This isn't just for people. Research shows that when you're just sitting there, gently petting your cat, oxytocin levels can actually rise in both of you. It's like you're having this mutual, chemical conversation of affection. You feel good, they feel good, and the bond just keeps getting stronger. It's a literal feedback loop of love. And check this out. A really fascinating study from 2021 found something incredible. When they took away human interaction from a group of cats, their levels of cortisol, that's the stress hormone, went up. No surprise there. But get this, their oxytocin levels also went up. Researchers think this means the cats were not only stressed by our absence, but their bodies were chemically preparing them to seek out that social connection they were missing. Okay, so the chemistry seems pretty undeniable, right? But how does all that hormonal stuff actually translate into the things we see our cats do every day? Let's take a minute to decode the specific and, yeah, sometimes very subtle ways that cats tell us they love us. First thing you have to do is forget about how dogs show affection. Cats have their own completely unique love language. And these right here, these are some of the clearest, most common signals you're going to see that say, I trust you, and you're part of my inner circle. You know that classic move where your cat purposefully rubs its cheeks and head against your leg or your hand? That's called bunting, and it is a huge deal in the cat world. They have scent glands all over their face, and when they do this, they're depositing their personal scent on you. They're literally marking you as safe and family. It's way more than just a cuddle. It's a profound social statement. Now, this one is my personal favorite. If your cat ever looks at you from across the room and slowly, gently closes and then opens its eyes, do not ignore it. That is what we call a cat kiss. Think about it. In the animal kingdom, closing your eyes in front of something else is the ultimate sign of vulnerability. By slow blinking at you, your cat is saying, I trust you so much, I feel completely safe and relaxed with you here. All right, let's wrap this all up. We've dug through the scientific arguments, we've looked at the hard chemical evidence. So, after all that, what are the big takeaways? What do we now know for sure about the bond we have with our cats? So, let's just lay it all out. While scientists can bicker over the precise definition of secure attachment, the biological and behavioral evidence is pretty overwhelming. Cats form deep, incredibly meaningful bonds with their humans. We know they feel stressed when we leave. We know their brains release the actual love hormone when we pet them. And we know they communicate all of this through their own special language of head bunts and slow blinks. At the end of the day, the science doesn't just give us a simple yes or no. It gives us a brand new way to understand and listen to our pets. That little creature curled up on your sofa isn't just some cold, aloof roommate. They are actively communicating a deep and real connection, one that's backed by some serious biology. So the only real question left is, what is your cat trying to tell you?